Well, we're basically an environmental company working in an oil industry world. So what our equipment would do is we would contain and then recover the oil from the surface of the water. So we've been involved in many oil spills, go back to the Exxon Valdez in Alaska, and now most recently the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. When things like that happen in the Gulf of Mexico, all the other oil companies were sitting there and they just thought, thank God it wasn't me, because it could have been any one of them. We went to EDC and we said, hey, we've got some fairly significant purchase orders here from British Petroleum for the oil spill down in the Gulf. We really want to help out. We've got equipment. It's going to have to be built because we don't stock a lot of this stuff. So the guys at EDC said, yeah, that's great, but they'd have to go to Ottawa to check to see if they were even insurable, because at the time, BP, it could have been insolvent, because of all the claims and everything that were coming in against it.
EDC had taken a position that we didn't want to cover any new coverage to British Petroleum, and any old coverage was taken out. So the stance was that we didn't want to cover it from a CSR perspective.
But we need pumping systems, we need engines, we needed all this. And believe it or not, the global demand for that size engine and that size of pump, it was almost impossible to get. So we were flying in equipment out of Europe, we were flying it in from the US. So we had to commit to a lot of these suppliers overseas. So it was like, can we go or can't we go? Like, we need to know now, you guys.
It's quite an efficient oil skimmer that takes away most of the oil, and it's much better than dispersants that were being used at the time. From a CSR perspective, we reviewed this decision again with the help of the Environmental Advisory Services. We essentially decided that we were going to cover. So CSR really came through and enabled this customer to sell to British Petroleum, because without the coverage at EDC, it would have been very difficult for Aquaguard to finance these transactions on their own.
We exported over 100 oil skimming systems down into the Gulf of Mexico. You guys really stepped up and really made something happen down there, which we would have had a really tough time doing without EDC support. So, thank you for that. That was great. And also projects in Brazil too, where we had to come up with a bond, a back-to-back guarantee on a deposit that Petrobras had given us, and we needed EDC's support.
When EDC has a pull relationship with a client, it really helps a small business because they don't necessarily have the backing to finance a purchase for their buyer. So having EDC step in and help finance purchases from Canada allowed Petrobras to buy more equipment from Canada.
Petrobras came to us finally after all of this work with an order. But Petrobras doesn't typically issue letters of credit. We needed a letter of credit. We needed some security to make this deal work for us. And so we went to EDC and we said, what can we do here? And then with the EDC guys and the Canadian consulate guys all in Rio there, we were all working together like this really nice team. We're not trying to sell it to you, but we're actually your partner. And that's, I think, what really made it all work. So it was like with EDC, the Canadian consulate, the people, and then Petrobras, our client, and then us all together. We were all kind of working for a common goal, a common good, as opposed to just trying to sell a product. Without EDC's support, our bank would not have backed us up on that. And you guys went ahead and did it, and then the project worked out, and it's been fantastic, and it's opened up like a new dynamic market for us because of that. And if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have been able to secure the other orders in Brazil.